We are less than 48 hours away from kick-off at the London Stadium in a decisive match for West Ham as we host SC Freiburg. We've got it all to do. We are 1-0 down on aggregate and it pretty much defines the rest of our season. It's crucial. So the question I want to ask tonight is, what needs to change versus Freiburg on Thursday? I hope you are well. Welcome back to West Ham, an official happy Tuesday to you all. And to discuss all things West Ham, Nigel is joining me. Nigel, how are you, mate?
I'm all good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. So you're all recovered from your voyage to Freiburg and back again. Of course, went to the game on Sunday against Burnley. How are you? How are you feeling about all things West Ham currently?
That's a funny question. I mean, we haven't been good for some time now, and I did have this sneaking feeling that we wouldn't be very good against Freiburg. I just didn't think we'd be very good. I wasn't feeling it before the game either. So yeah, we're just gone a bit flat, haven't we? We had that little resurgence against Brentford, and then again it seems to have gone very, very flat.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in 3 games that we probably should have won all 3, we got 7 points from. You know, we beat Everton, we beat Brentford, and we drew arguably the easiest out of the 3, Burnley at home. We'll come on to that in just a second. But in response to the question that titles tonight's show, what needs to change? Richard has put the manager, the low block, the players playing in their best position, and the tactics all needs to change ahead of Freiburg. And it's difficult to disagree with that. Usual suspect is also joining us. I hope you are well. Good evening to everybody as well. So yeah, Nigel, it's a decisive week for West Ham, isn't it? Obviously, we've got this on Thursday, arguably the more important game, and then a tough test back at the London Stadium again on Sunday against Villa, who did get thumped by Spurs, but still a good outfit.
Yeah, Villa are a very good team. We'll have to put our finger out if we want to beat them. I think that if we play an attacking team against Freiburg, that we'll win the game. I'm confident that we're well confident beating them because, you know, I went to the game and they're not a good side. No. I think they had one good player that really stuck out. That was that Doan, who was the Japanese guy who was on the right. He was the only real player that I saw, and they looked a very, very ordinary team, and we just struggled to. It's like we wasn't trying, you know. It's hard. It was very laboured, and then I do think we're going to beat them.
Yeah, I do hope so. And look, the way you've got to look at it is that we were poor. I thought we were at about 75%. To be honest, we just looked a bit complacent, and it's almost like the mindset that we had going into the Freiburg game last week was, it's all right, we've got the second leg. We didn't really seem too bothered about it. There wasn't any intensity or urgency about anything we did in Germany last week. And look, we've now left ourselves with it all to do. We'd have expected a response on Sunday against Burnley. I didn't watch it. I was doing my Mother's Day duty. Nigel, you did watch it. You were there. And yeah, I mean, from what I can grasp, obviously 2-0 down to what was at the time bottom of the league Burnley is not a good place to be.
Yeah, but I mean, people will blame Moyes, right? He put out, you know, you can't keep blaming the manager. So, like when we played Brentford, we played a team, more or less the same team, which thumped Brentford, and he puts a similar team after the same team against Burnley, and they don't perform it. So, you know, was the manager right against Brentford, but not against Burnley? I think you've got to look at the players and the way they perform when they're on a pitch, and you know, they must see things are going wrong, and you know, you can change things while you're on the pitch. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I kept saying that I don't think Ward-Prowse is a very good footballer in the midfield. I think he's, you know, he's got good set pieces in that, which, you know, we haven't seen much of yet. But there was one point there in the second half in the first half where it's halfway through, Paquetá switched and Ward-Prowse went onto the left-hand side. And you're talking about
that's worked in the past, hasn't it?
You're talking about a bloke who's right-footed, who's not fast, who can't beat players, and you're sticking him out there wide. And I was saying to the guy next to me, I said, why don't you just hook him? with 20 minutes to go in the first half and put Antonio on or run at them.
Just as well.
He waits till the second half and then he puts Antonio on and it completely changes. But these players must know they're not playing in the right positions and they're all over the shop. You don't think so? You don't think that they?
No, I do. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and Richard put it in the chat earlier about players not playing in their right position. And look, he's experimented with Ward-Prowse on the left before, and I mean, he's probably never played on the left-hand side in his whole career. He's a centre midfielder. He's a centre midfielder who I thought had a good start to the season, but always knew that he had a ceiling. And yes, he scored some. He scored some goals, and he's given us quite a few assists this season, but he's not a player that massively adds anything to the midfield. He's neat and tidy in his play. He very rarely loses the ball in very bad positions, but he doesn't, he doesn't have that match-winning impact, which we should have all acknowledged when we signed him. And I think he's, a good Southampton player, but is he going to push us to the next level? He's not, and he never was going to. You're kidding yourself if you thought that was going to happen. Glenn says, all I think is West Ham are going to do well. I do hope so. According to reports, lots of unsold tickets. It's not even reports as usual. You've just got to go onto the West Ham website and see how many tickets are left available to buy on the ticketing website. I'd be surprised if there's anything more than 45,000 there. I mean, apparently there's just shy of 50,000 tickets sold, but that's providing every single one of those tickets somebody stands or sits in that seat, which is never ever guaranteed. And look, the kickoff time doesn't help, and I've just got visions of the atmosphere being quite flat, Nigel, because of the kickoff time and because of recent performances and that playing into Freiburg's hands.
Well, yeah, I mean, same situation against Seville. We had a full stadium, and we should be, everyone who's West Ham, a 30 quid a ticket should be getting there and getting behind the team. I mean, it's a European competition. We need to win this game to progress. And we've been moaning about it for so long. Oh, we want European football. Blah blah blah. We'll get out there and support them. Don't sit on the computer moaning about it or watch. Well, like I say, it's on TV, and so everyone's just gonna sit and watch it on TV.
Yeah. No, there we go. Andy, evening, everyone. Now, listen, I don't blame anybody for not going. People can't get a time off work. They can't get a time off work. It's a really infuriating kickoff time, which we haven't experienced before, but that's the TV side of things. And it's come back. It's got Rangers as well. They've got the same kickoff time on Thursday. And look, it's annoying, but we've just got to get on with it. And the players got to get on with it. Jared Bowen put out a rallying cry on social media earlier on the West Ham page saying, looking forward to seeing you all there, almost as a push to get more people to actually turn up, because West Ham are probably looking at how many unsold tickets are there and going, Christ, we need to do something about this. And not much is going to change, because if people haven't bought the tickets now, and they're very unlikely to buy them before Thursday and go, are they? So look, there is going to be a depleted crowd there, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be the headline. The headline should be what the players are doing on the pitch, for goodness sake. And if it's anything like we saw in that first half against Burnley, then we're on a one-way ticket out of Europe, Nigel, for the future, I think, because that was shocking by all accounts. And look, you can blame whoever you like. I don't really mind who you blame, but somebody's got to take the blame here. And yes, second half we turned it around, but that was only started, and the catalyst of that comeback was poor defending by Burnley at the start of the second half. It's a brilliant finish from Lucas Paqueta, but not many sides give you that gift of the ball in that area. And look, Paqueta was there, and if you probably wanted one man over that, it was Lucas Paqueta, and he managed to put it away. But I mean, coming back and scoring 2 goals to get a draw against Burnley is not exactly something to write home about, Nigel, is it?
Well, it's not, but we should have had more, to be honest. We absolutely murdered them the second half.
Yeah.
And we just didn't finish. But you know what? Fair play to Antonio when he came on. He looked really good, which is a good sign. He looked really, really sharp. And also Danny Ings, to be fair, we give Danny Ings a bit of jip, but you know what? He was fantastic when he came on. He was also good against Sheffield United. So
exactly. Somebody put a tweet out after the game on Sunday, and so the stat was Danny Ings, since that Sheffield United game, Danny Ings has played 33 minutes of football. That's 2 months. He's played 33 minutes of football, arguably after his best performance in a West Ham shirt away at Sheffield United in January. do you think this warrants a start? I'm not saying against Freiburg, but maybe against it over the next 2 games. I'll make it easier for you. Do you think Danny Ings warrants a start over the next 2 games, Nigel?
Who do you take out the team? Do you know what I mean? To make room for Ings. I mean, look, he did play well when he came on. I'd rather see Antonio over Ings, if I'm honest, because I just think that I think that Antonio should be starting against Freiburg because I think he's the sort of player that they ain't gonna like. He's just so unpredictable, and I think that's what you need against these teams. You need a big, burly monster who's going to rough them up. Because let's face it, we didn't rough them up at all when we was out. If anything, it was the opposite. And I think they need roughing up. I think put Antonio on, get right at them from the very start with the crowd behind us, a home crowd, and I think we'll manage to beat them. But yeah, but Ings, he's played well. He deserves some sort of involvement in the game, I think, somewhere along the line. Kudos seems to have been found out of late. You know, people are doubling up on him, and he just seems to be making the wrong decisions. He's getting the ball and he's trying to go, you know what I mean? It's just not working for him at the moment. Paquetá doesn't know where he's playing. He always comes off and starts on the left. I do not know why. And then later on in the game, he drifts into the middle. The team seems to be all over the shop. We've got no settled midfield, got no settled centre backs. You know, you're saying, do we want Mavropanos? Do we want Aguirre? Do we want Zuma? Everyone's moaning about Zuma. I mean, the team is not a team.
No.
It's not a team of players. It's a team of talented individuals who don't know where they're meant to be playing.
Absolutely. You know, it's massively fragmented in so many capacities, that side. So I'm going to paint a scenario for you. So would you rather James Ward-Prowse started on Thursday, or would you rather I take James Ward-Prowse out, I put Danny Ings in a second striker role, put him behind either Bowen or Antonio? If you put Antonio there, then that allows you to put Bowen back out on the right-hand side. Somebody else has got to be taken out then, because obviously, you know, you've got about 15 million players playing then. So would you prefer Danny Ings to play almost like he did at Sheffield United, playing off of Jarrod Bowen through the middle centrally as that sort of second striker or advanced number 10 role, over a James Ward-Prowse as a more attacking input?
Yeah, I think that could work. I mean, I'll tell you what's been happening with Bowen. Bowen, how much better did Jarrod look when he went wide on Sunday? And that's what he does.
Position, 2
He
words.
gets the ball and he cuts inside and he looks for goal and he looks out and he links up with. But when he's as a forward in the centre, nothing. He's not that player. You can't just knock the ball. You can't knock the ball in the air because he's not. These centre backs are huge, and so you've got to actually get a pinpoint ball to put Jarrod in. But when you give him the ball wide and he actually runs at players, that's when he's at his most dangerous. So whatever happens, I think you need to pull Jarrod out of that position and then stick him out wide, because I think that's where he plays best. Also, I think that's where Antonio plays best, is in a wide position, because again, he runs. When he's at Forest, he was playing wide and cutting in and scoring little goals, and he used to score a fair lot of goals for us when he was coming in from a wide position. So I would possibly want to put Paquetá right in the middle.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, I think Moyes hasn't distinguished his best position for all the players. Now, look, I can understand Paquetá out on the left when Emerson's there, because I think their link up is something that is profitable from, and Moyes has tried his very hardest to merge Paquetá into a left winger, to merge Bowen into a striker. And if we're being totally honest with Bowen, it hasn't worked. He scored goals this season, yes, granted, but he's better on the right, and there's no doubt about that. And I get he's had to put Bowen up there. He's been forced to in some occasions because of, you know, Antonio being out or whatever. So that's had to happen. But now he's got the scenario of Bowen's better on the right, but then Antonio's better as a super sub. So you've got to put Bowen up front, and then Antonio, you get the best out of Antonio then if he comes on. So do you want the best out of Antonio, or do you want the best out of Bowen? I don't know. Obviously, I'd say probably you want the best out of Bowen, because Bowen's the better player. So then you put Bowen back out on the right-hand side, but you start Antonio, which has its strengths and weaknesses every game. If you start Antonio, you know, then you go back to a different sort of way of playing and more hoofing it up there, which we have been doing anyway, to be honest, hoofing it up to Bowen or Kudus, who can't win a header against 6'6" centre-halves. So maybe that would maybe stop that. I don't know. Moyes just hasn't got a grasp of what's going on and who needs to be playing where, which is a concern entering the latter stage of the season, Nigel.
Maybe play them. Maybe just say to them, keep switching, keep switching, keep switching. You know, maybe that would work better. Let them play their own game. Put them on and say, look, just play together, keep switching. Don't stick to one position. But, you know, I mean, I'm not a football manager. So it's hard. When you watch us play, it's different all the time. You can't, you know, we've got so many different players playing in different positions and coming on at different times. You're like, no one seems to know who plays where. That's what it's like watching us.
And you know, we haven't even tackled, excuse the pun, we haven't even tackled the main issue, which is defensively. I mean, I was just thinking that Mavropanos was gaining a little bit of, confidence in there, and I suppose you've got to blame him for that if you can. That, you know, own goal. I don't know. I didn't watch the game in its entirety, so I don't know whether his confidence was knocked throughout and he just wasn't very good in the whole game. But I've been quite, I've been quite pleased with how Mavropanos has gone over the last few weeks. I thought he cemented his place in that team really well, and I think that's probably been half due to how poor Agerd has been and how poor the centre halves are around him. But then again, we're back to square one now. I mean, is it Zuma and Mavropanos on Thursday as our best centre-half pairing? I don't know, because I don't think Agerd fits in there, that's for sure.
Well, they've all got their qualities.
Yeah, they do.
Zuma makes some great challenges, you know, and he's good in the air. Mavropanos is a good player going forward. He looks really good going forward. He's got a good header. He wins a lot of headers. He's quite quick. He makes some good challenges. But he's prone to mistakes. But then you've got Agerd who's prone to mistakes. He's like a Rolls Royce of a footballer and his passing's fantastic. But I don't know, how do they all fit in together? It just, what do you want?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You know, what we've got to contend with here is Moyes has got, 4 centre halves, and they've all got different qualities, and he'd prefer to just merge them together and get 2, maybe 3 centre halves that have got an all-round game, because they've all got their flaws, they've all got their strengths, these centre halves. And Moyes is stuck between a rock and a hard place, knowing who to pick and who's on form and who they're going to get the best out of, because it's not only individually, it's as a partnership as well, because we've seen, various different partnerships struggle and some thrive as well. I mean, that changes weekly sometimes. It's a crossword, it's a puzzle that Moyes has got to manoeuvre his way around here, and I don't know who he's going to start on Thursday. As I said, I'd presume Mavropanos and Zuma, because Zuma positionally and the tackles he puts in, listen, his legs are absolutely gone, and I hope we get to a stage in the summer where he has an operation and I might put him out for a while, but he can get his knees sorted, because I mean, I'm no doctor, but I presume that's what needs to happen here. He needs to have some sort of operation or injection or something to get his knee back to some sort of, I don't know, clarity, because his legs are gone. He's hobbling along like the Tin Man. And if we can change that, and if we can fix that, then why don't we do it? If it puts him on the sideline for 6 months, do it. For goodness sake, I mean, the guy's struggling. And then you've got Mavropanos, who has been good, but then is prone to mistakes. And the same with Agerd. And Ogbonna seems to be put out of the equation again here. It's just a never-ending issue, Nigel, to be honest.
I think Zuma's done. I think his time as a footballer is done. He doesn't even look like he could finish the season. He just looks a complete finished player and should retire. That's my honest thought. He can't run, he can't kick a ball. He just looks absolutely awful. We need to get ourselves someone like that Bramfield's at Everton.
Good player.
He looked a class above all of our centre-backs when we played them. He's a young man, and, they're out there. You can find these lads, and that's what we need. A nice, young, strong centre-back, commanding. And like I say, I like Mavropanos. I think he's a real good player. I think he's the best of a bad bunch, to be honest.
I agree. No,
he's made a few mistakes and he's been punished for it, but look at the mistakes that are made every week. Yeah. Well, lots of centre-backs, he's had a couple of back passes at dodge, but I noticed the other day, he stopped doing that. He looked at the back pass, and it was about someone we played someone the other day, and it's put back, and he just looked up, and you could see he just went whacked in the touch. And yeah. I think he's thought, I'm not going to take any more chances like that. But and he's always up there. He's a threat at corners. He's been getting in there, and he can carry the ball forward sometimes.
Mm.
So yeah, I think he should stay. But I do think Zuma. I think he's gone, mate. We should just forget about him. He's finished.
Yeah, I don't know because I mean, you look at what happened with Richarlison. He was absolute donkey for the first 15 games of the season. He went off and he had an operation and injections or something, and he come back and he's been a rejuvenized player. I don't know. Listen, we're not medical professionals. I mean, we can look with our eyes and see that flipping out his knees are done. Whether they're done past the point of return, I don't know. I think that's the decision that will be made in the summer because he can't continue into next season like that because it's a recipe for absolute disaster. My patience has withered with a gird, if I'm being totally honest. You can see a good centre half in there, but again, the mistakes and he switches off too often for my liking. So yeah, I don't know. And then of course we've got an added issue of Emerson, who looks like by all accounts he's going to be out of the game on Thursday. It seems like a given, but I'm going to ask you anyway: Creswell or Johnson, Nigel?
Creswell. Do you know what?
Really?
Yeah, I do think Creswell because he's a naturally left-footed left back. You can't, John. And like I've said before, Johnson's looked great in the midfield. He ain't looked good at fullback because I don't think he can handle the pressure of having to defend. I really don't.
Creswell. Yeah, but if we're being honest, Creswell hasn't drowned himself in much glory, has he? He hasn't played for a long time. But really, Creswell?
Yeah, I think for experience, I do think Creswell. Yeah, I think that. I say I like Ben Johnson now. I think he's but as a midfielder, I think that they should be getting hold of the lad and putting him in midfield because he's looked really superb when he's come on in midfield. But I say any time I've watched him play at the back, he's not looked good. He's looked like scared when people attack him. When people run at him, he's looked like, oh, I'm not comfortable here. So, and you've got that Japanese guy, Doan, who was actually getting down that right-hand side. Do you know what I mean? You need someone who's a seasoned fullback to defend those sort of people.
Yeah, it's just the PTSD of Creswell in a Europa League knockout game that's doing it for me. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Now, look, obviously it's an important game. What that'll tell Ben Johnson, I'm not entirely sure if he puts Creswell in. Look, I think he'll start Johnson. I'm going to be totally honest, but he may. But I'm not 100% on that. I'd probably say 60-40. I think he'll start Johnson, but I could see him starting Creswell for the points that you've mentioned. Yeah, I mean, he's got the experience there, but he's a player that hasn't played consistently. I mean, you could argue Johnson's not playing consistently, but he's played more, Johnson, and yeah, he's played in midfield. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, in a best case scenario, we like Emerson to return because he's the best left back at this football club by 100 country miles. But yeah, I'm not sure. I am not sure. But look, overall, what would you? I mean, it's obvious what we need to see shift from Sunday into Thursday. Nigel, is a quick start, which we definitely didn't get on Sunday.
No, we didn't. We didn't get it in Freiburg either. We're normally quite quick off the mark. Normally, when I've watched us this season, we normally start well in the first 10-15 minutes and then it goes a bit flat. But it was flat from the start in both those games. It seems like we have to really, really, like it's the last 20 minutes, half an hour that we start to play a bit of football. Everyone starts panicking and thinking, hang on, we're losing here. This is what happened in Freiburg. We didn't start playing until the last 10 minutes. And we didn't start playing against Burnley till the last 20 minutes. We started pushing and attacking. I think when the team attacks, it looks decent. But we just, for some reason, we don't. We just keep playing it square. We don't play through the middle. There's no over the top balls. It's just, I don't know. I can't explain it. I really can't.
Yeah, for sure. Right, let's take some comments. Right, let's return to the left back. A Gerd at left back. What about that?
Well, like I said
that would be bold. That would be bold.
Aaron Creswell is a left-footed left back. Why would you put someone who's uncomfortable with a right foot at left back?
Yeah, but to be honest, you could argue that Creswell's uncomfortable at left back, if we're being totally honest.
Well, I don't think so. He's a left back. That was where he's always played.
When was the last time you walked
Didn't he
away
play left
from
back for England?
what, Creswell? I don't know. I was
Didn't
about that eye.
he have a cap? I mean, here's the thing.
Oh yeah,
He's a left back.
Nigel, that was probably a decade ago.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he's a left back, and Johnson ain't a left back. You're playing a guy out of position. You can see that he's uncomfortable now. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to go forward with the ball. He just wants to knock it back in. And you're only giving him one way to go, predominantly right-footed. He ain't got a left peg. So what are you going to do? But what's he going to play the ball up the line with?
I just have concerns of Creswell because I just
yeah. If people identify him with a right foot, all they're going to do is keep putting him on his left foot. They're not going to let him come inside. And then what's the point in having him there? I think he should play. Look, I think he could play left midfield because I think he could get to run about. I think I would give Jonathan personally. Looking at the way he played when he came on in midfield, I'd be giving him a start in midfield over Ward-Prowse all day because he's a strong, powerful young lad. Gets stuck in. He's got good skill. He can go past people. You know, Ward-Prowse can't. All Ward-Prowse has got is a great set piece delivery. That's it. I've watched him as a footballer player. I know he's got these assists and that, but he ain't very good. People knock him off the ball easy. He's ball watches. He's like, you know what I mean? He's not a great midfielder.
Yeah, listen, his ball retention statistics are good, which make him look good because he makes safe passes. He makes the 5-yard pass to Souček, or the pass back to Alvarez, or even the pass back to the centre half, or maybe the quick pass out wide. He doesn't make penetrating passes through. He doesn't change games. Ward-Prowse. He is a player that has a low ceiling for what he is. For what he was at Southampton, he was admired for what he did there. But he's not the player, and I've said this all season. He's not the player that's going to push us on. And people people are starting to see actually what's he providing us in midfield. And I go, well, there you go. I mean, his set pieces, he hasn't scored a set piece. He hasn't scored a free kick yet. He's put some decent balls into the box, but then so has Bowen. I mean, so
he's not. Look. You look at the players we've got in midfield. You look at Alvarez, right? You look at the way he barges people off the ball, the challenges he makes, his attacking runs, he's passing abilities. Right? You put him against Ward-Prowse, and Ward-Prowse is our central midfielder. It's like putting me up against a 14-year-old. Seriously, it's like that's what it's like. He ain't got that fight. I thought Calvin Phillips was going to come in with a bit of fight, a bit of bite, but he just looked invisible, mate, when he come on. Having him when we took Ward-Prowse and Calvin Phillips off, we looked treble the team we did in the first half, didn't we? We absolutely changed the game, because they weren't doing anything. It looked so boring when you had Alvarez who was doing everything, covering the back four, and you had Souček who lollops about making the odd tackle and the odd bad pass. Ward-Prowse was doing nothing, and Phillips doing nothing. So that is just a redundant midfield. You look at some of the other, and Burnley's midfield was all over the place. It was battling hard. Josh Cullen looked good, didn't he, against us? Didn't he?
West Ham reject. Whoa.
Exactly. And he must have been thinking, oh, blimey, I couldn't get in this midfield.
Exactly. Right, let's take his biggest game of the season. Absolutely. This is huge. This competition, European competitions, have kept Moyes' job in the past. So believe me, he's got to repay the favour, and he's got to win this football match. And the first goal is monumental because it not only lifts the team, it lifts the crowd as well. If we go 1-0 down, which is then 2-0 down on aggregate, there's no coming back. I'm sorry, there's no coming back from a 2-goal deficit on the night there. I just can't see us turning it around. It would be a miracle if we did, if I'm going to be totally honest. And then there's no guarantee we don't go and concede another one in the midst of that as well. So the first goal is massive, and we need to start energetically with a bit of urgency and drive, which is the complete antithesis and opposite to what we've seen in the last two games, which is the big concern going into the game. Not beating Burnley at home is a sackable offence. Winning 2 out of the last 12 is a sackable offence. Up until that Brentford game, not winning since December is a sackable offence. We can go on. We can go on all night, but he's still here, and we have to focus on this now. It's got to be our sole focus, is getting through to the next round, because believe me and Nigel want another European away day. Nigel wants to get that passport out and go to Italy, whether it's Rome, whether it's Milan. We want to go, so we've got to get it done. We've got to get
I'd
through.
take Rangers, to be honest.
Liverpool away?
Nah, that's the only one that I look at and think, oh my God. But I could do a bit of Portugal. You've already been to Benfica, Jake, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So
Nice stadium.
Bit of Portugal, bit of Rome. Scotland ain't too bad. So
Benfica would be good because it's a big old stadium, so we get a fairly large allocation. So that, and it's good weather over there, and it's a lovely place. So yeah, Benfica. Yeah, I mean Scotland. Fly up there. Would you fly or drive, or would you take the bus, Nigel? Your new routes.
Well, no, Scotland.
Definitely not the bus.
Definitely not the bus. Yeah, it would not be the bus for sure. So it will.
We could make a nice driving holiday.
Yeah, it'd be one of our little driving holidays. I think that would.
There we go.
Yeah, that don't even go there about that German trip.
No,
that was horrendous. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, when you did sort of explain it all, I was like, oh my God, how is he going to do that?
I've done a blog on it, Jake, on my Facebook.
I know, I saw, yeah.
And it was horrendous going like some of the places, and it's the people. And yeah, you can see why it's only 130 quid there and back. Oh my God. Honestly, never. I've done it before. I've done it against Frankfurt. I should have learned my lesson. Because I've done it against Eintracht Frankfurt. I said never again. Now I've done it, and you did hear about my mate Gary though, didn't you?
No.
So you're like this. So Gary Stewart goes to all the games. He was going to meet me out there. So
I did hear this. Yeah, I did hear this.
I got to Freiburg at 5 in the morning. It was raining hard, and I looked round, and it was like it's in the middle of the town. Nowhere was open. And I met a couple of these these guys. I could see those West Ham. You can tell them a mile off. So we ended up going in this eat all you can eat buffet, and we hung it out to 11. And this was from 6 to 11, having nursing cups of coffee. Anyway, I was going to meet Gary outside the station. So he said, I'm here. I said, where are you? He said, I'm outside Burger King. I said, okay, I'll come and meet you. So we very quickly worked out. I said, well, you're not here. He's like, I am. I'm at Burger King. Because then he realised, he read the train sign. He realised, I realised, I said, you're not actually in Germany, mate. You're in Freiburg in Switzerland. He'd just got off to Basel. He'd said to the bloke on the train, I want a single to Freiburg. And he obviously just sent him to the one in Switzerland. So, yeah. So he didn't get there for another 4 hours. So.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah. Quite a few people. I did hear a few people done it. So
yeah. Not the only one then. Lawrence says, West, I need a playmaker, someone to boss the game. That's Lucas Picatta, but not out on the left. He needs to be in the heart, especially with Emerson not there. He needs to be the heartbeat in that centre number 10 role in midfield. A fast start is critical, absolutely. Larry, I hope you are well. Michael, evening guys, we just need to go for it. Sod the low block. I think that's probably the comment of the night. Sod the low block. Go for it. The low block needs to be swept aside for this because we are trailing in the game and we need to get ahead in the game. So we need to be a little bit proactive about it at home. We've played them 3 times this season. They're not a fantastic football team. Neither have we been over the last few months, but we can beat them. We've got the quality to beat them, but we just need to illustrate and we need to show that and we need to show what we're worth. Otherwise, we are going out, and that's the harsh reality of it, Nigel. Yeah,
like I say, I think Antonio should possibly be in there because I think that their centre backs, they won't know how to handle him. They're gonna, when we played him last week, he come on for 2 minutes at the end, so he didn't get a chance to get out. But it was very easy for them in that game. So it's very easy. We was playing to their strengths, and when we did get it wide, it was just coming in. There's no one in there. So I think he should be the menace. They should be starting him and sticking him up and sitting him right on their centre backs and, getting him to make a nuisance of himself because I think that's the way to win the game. Get at them from the kickoff. Just get at them and just put them under pressure and play very, very high because they haven't got all that up front. They're not a good team.
No,
they're not got a Salah or someone who's going to kill us like that. They haven't.
Absolutely. No, I agree. David says our defenders make mistakes because they are defending most of the game. Moyes is too thick to notice it. Lone Star says, regardless of form performances or the manager, the fans need to be massive on Thursday. Yeah, I agree. Good to hear the new Mrs. King telling Nigel the travel plans.
Well, yeah, I'll let her tell me.
Or realistically, she sorts it out because you wouldn't know where to start.
That's exactly the truth, Jake, to be honest. That is, like, it couldn't be any further from the truth. She does everything, books all the hotels, does all that. It's all sorted.
So you just turn up.
I just roll up.
Yeah, you just turn up. Or, sorry, you just pay for it and then turn up.
No, don't say that, Jake. Don't say that. She's very, very she's like, we're all equal here.
Yeah, we are.
Well, I should hope that you pay for your half, Nigel.
Oh yeah, absolutely, of course.
Good.
Yeah,
there we go.
Don't start her off, Jake. Don't start her off.
And you pay for the non-alcoholic beverages as well.
Yeah, well, to be fair, in the ground, everyone's moaning in the ground. Everyone's like, God, they're serving beer in the ground. And then that was like 0.5 alcohol or something. So everyone's moaning about it.
Lee, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Freiburg had a good away win at the weekend, so their form keeps going. Here we go. Dad pays for it, and Jake turns up. Well, what can I say?
Well, we're very similar there, Jake.
Yeah, we're in the same boat.
We just roll up, give it a large one.
Exactly. We just turn up. Tell me a time, tell me a place. I'll be there, and we'll just do it. Isn't that right?
I do get Una does. She's sitting on the computer most of the time, and she'd be like, "Right, we've got this, and this," and I just sit there and nod and go,
"Yeah, okay."
I'll go. What's the easiest way? Yeah, what is that? Okay, we do that then. Yeah. So.
Jake has the bank of mum and dad, I bet. No comment.
Yeah, of course he does.
No, I've got to earn my own money. Thank you very much.
Mate, we skinted ourselves out last year. Oh, my God. Going to every game and stuff like that. It just costs so much. I can understand, why someone going back is so expensive. Honestly, they kill us, especially with the European games. And you get back, there's another game and there's an away game and you're like, it kills you. Absolutely rinses your bank account.
There we go. As David says, like button, guys. I just remembered, smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Right, I think we'll wrap things up there. We've had a good old chat about what needs to change ahead of Freiburg on Thursday. I mean, most of the factors are quite obvious for us to point out, and hopefully we can see them come into fruition on Thursday night. We'll have a preview at the later time of 8 o'clock-ish tomorrow night because I'm having my hair cut. Nigel's thankful for that because the first thing he said when I came on here tonight is, "What have you done with your hair?" Wasn't that right?
You look like someone from Soft Cell, but you wouldn't know that, wasn't.
No, I don't know what that is. I'm getting it cut tomorrow, all right? Before anyone else goes, when are you having your hair cut? Tomorrow, okay? So for the preview for the Freiburg game tomorrow night, are we all fresh in inverted commas? Fresh, yeah. Something like that.
Oh, there's going there again. I had it all cut for the wedding. That's all coming back again. The beard.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to go for the big thick moustache look.
Oh God.
No, seriously. I had a look at it the other day and I thought someone said I'd look Dutch if I'd done it. But
wow.
It's funny that just going back to what someone said just now about our defenders. Yeah, because I was defending. And that's a fact. We play such a low block and so we're moaning about our defenders making mistakes, but when they're constantly having to be on the ball and defend, statistically, they're going to make mistakes. Other teams like Man City are always attacking. You don't often see their defenders making that many mistakes because they're not defending. And this is the thing. We're always on the back foot, always defending, looking to counter. So our defenders are going to make mistakes. It's not that they're any worse than a lot of the defenders in the Premier League, but they're constantly under pressure. It must be horrible being a defender for West Ham because you are literally you've got much more of the ball than their attacking players have, and you're facing the attacking team a lot more full on. Do you remember it was Arabola or something? We got him from Real Madrid, I think we got him from.
Yeah.
And he played it right back, and he was like, everyone was like, he's crap. And I was like, well, he ain't crap. It's just he ain't used to people running him every week because he had Ronaldo in front of him. Do you know what I mean? This is the point. We are having to defend a lot harder. So our defenders are under a lot more pressure than a lot of the other defenders in the league.
There we go. And a few people have liked your soft sell reference. There we go. I know soft sell, and I've googled it for you, Nige. Is this what I should be looking at here? I know I'll zoom in. Hang on.
Yeah, you want to get one of them little hats. You know them little like policeman's hats.
What, one of them?
You're definitely a bit of Mark Harmon going on there.
Okay, whatever you say.
You're not. You're. If you grow it a little bit longer.
It's getting cut tomorrow because you're moaning about it.
If you grow it a little bit longer, it'll be Human League.
Am I going to Google something else now? Human League. Oh, yeah. Right. Human League. Right. You're just sending me at rabbit holes now, aren't you? Well, the blokes bowl. Oh, right. Okay. I see. Right. Yeah. It's okay. All right. Okay. Right. Jolly good. 5:45. Kickoff. How many tickets sold? Can we make a big atmosphere? There won't be more than 50,000 in there, I don't think.
When is there ever a big atmosphere?
Very true. Manny says, hi everyone. Jake, do we have the oldest squad in the Premier League? I don't really fancy doing the research, but we can't be far off, Mandy. We can't be far off. But yeah, right. Lone Star starting to feel old with all of these. What's this? Soft sell. Somebody else mentioned something else up here as well, but it's now gone. What's this? Tainted Love.
That's the one. Big soft sell classic there.
All this is going right over my head. But cool. There we go. Nige, thank you very much indeed.
It's all right, mate.
I will speak to you very shortly, very soon. I am sure. And yeah, any final thoughts ahead of anything coming up soon?
Yeah, I'm just hoping we win, mate, because I don't think we're gonna, the way we've been playing in the league, I don't think we're gonna get a European place. So I think this is our only way of getting into Europe. Hopefully, Liverpool or Leverkusen will get turned over at some point, and we can carry on. I want a few more trips, Jake. I want a few more trips.
You just want to rinse that bank account some more, as you've mentioned.
Umi goes, I'm coming on she couldn't go. She's well gutted having to watch it on the television.
Yeah.
I was telling her how good it was. It was a great little town. And kept FaceTiming us saying, oh, look at this. Look at this brilliant thing. Look at this. Oh, it's great.
Look at this fantastic architecture that you wouldn't have recognised otherwise.
Yeah, it was actually a really nice town. Anyone who went would tell you there's a little cafe that you could go up, a cable car type thing up into the top. It's a really nice little town, city, whatever you want to call it. But it's much better than I thought, to be honest. And the fans were all right. The Freiburg fans are pretty friendly. I was all in the pub afterwards with them, having a bit of a laugh, and it was a good trip overall. Apart from the result.
Apart from the result, well, as always, as it tends to be. But there we go. Yeah, thank you very much, indeed, everybody, for watching. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And you know what? I've managed to get through the show without sneezing, so that should be a record. I've done 45 minutes now. Hopefully, I'm going to go and see Porto beat Arsenal just to make my Tuesday rather more interesting. Thanks, everybody, for getting involved in the chat. That's greatly appreciated. Nigel, I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much. And from us, come on, you Irons. There we go. Come on, you Irons. I'm going to see it right here on West Ham. Official preview tomorrow night for the Freiburg game. Build-up show for the Freiburg game. Then build-up for the Villa game. It's all going on. It's all happening right here on West Ham Official. But until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.